Hey guys, Kev here, and I have a cool video to do for you. So these are knives from David Lespect, and he is a French custom knife maker. I'm going to leave that here. And he is very highly regarded in the community. I have a couple of friends, AJ and Brian, local knife dudes, and we were at Blade Show. And they actually bought these, and they asked me to transport them back up here from Georgia for them because they flew down. So I have the honor of checking out both of these knives. They, of course, told me to go ahead and make any kind of content I want on them. Got the raspberry lime spindrift. And so there's two here. One of these is AJ's, and this one is a G10 version. He picked this up at the show, and I believe it was like $1,100, something like that, which is very reasonable, I think, for his knives. We have this really cool looking Hamon here. I don't have a bunch of information on steel or anything. I assume it's good. Probably not like, S90B or something, but it's probably like 154 RWL, something good. You know what I mean? I can take a look and see if there's any type of card here. Hang on a second. Oh, yeah. Liner lock blade W1. Is that a steel? W1. Titanium clip and liners G10 scales. Merci pour Gentiles, AJ? I don't know. And then it says it was $10.50. So I believe he won. He didn't win this, but he won a lottery to get it. Anyway, there you go. W1 steel. I've heard of O1. I don't know if I've ever heard of W1, but I'm sure it's a decent steel. Hopefully not a tool steel because it's in my possession. But anyway, I've handled some Lespecs before because Brian, the other guy who got one, I'll show you that one in a second. He has like two already. And he absolutely loves this guy's work. And one of the ones he has is like amazing. I freaking love it. Reverse flicks like a beast. And just really well done for a handmade knife, right? This one you can reverse flick, but you got to really dig in, get it in the right spot, and flick it out. It's just not intuitive for me personally. So, yeah, I can't even get it. I would much prefer to be able to reverse flick it. Centering on this is very, very close to dead center. I think it might be off to the clip side just a touch. Again, handmade knife, I think, or custom knife, however you want to put it. But you can see the D10 is dialed really well, front flipper style. One thing I don't like about his work is the way he terminates the edge. It just is like one of those knives that wants to stab you in the nail. And if you have sturdy nails, fine. Or if you just do it like this, or, you do this thing or whatever, then you're fine, right? But if you're like me and you like to drop them, it's dangerous. I just want to put that out there. I like the way he does the edge termination for how comfortable it is in hand because you can climb up pretty close to the edge there, right? Now, if you climb too far, you might get the edge, but, it does make it where a smallish knife fits really well in the hand, right? I didn't realize this would be sort of a tactical-ish type guy. I thought it was more gentlemanly, like when I first saw these. But I guess now that I'm looking at them, you got the poon spoon and all that goodness going on. Let me grab some knives to compare it to. Something affordable people might know is the Asher Spiro with Hull. And that's a great comparison in terms of size. They're almost identical in size. For some more expensive stuff, we have the Oz Machine Company Roosevelt. I guess not expensive if you're buying this. Although I did pay more for this than he did for that. He paid $10.50. I paid $1,100 for this when I got it. Trevor Berger Urban. Let me know in the comments if you got a spot for an Urban XL. I wasn't going to, but I thought about it more, and I was like, you know what, it'd be cool to have a brother. So I got the same exact build, except it's going to have a copper dark matter inlay. And I actually got number 2 on that. So I'll have number 1 Urban and number 2 Urban XL. It's kind of cool. I couldn't get number 1, obviously. I tried. There you go. It's a little bit smaller. The Grimsmo Knives Rask is a little bit bigger. So you're looking at 3 1/4, I would think, on this one. So anyway, G10 scales, very nicely done, nicely finished. It doesn't feel like a G10 knife, if you know what I mean. Most of the time when I hear G10, I run. I don't want anything to do with it. But this is a very good implementation of G10. It feels great in the hand, all that stuff. It's not dropped shut, but it's very close, very smooth. I assume you could either tune it to be, or you could let it break in, maybe drop a little oil, that kind of thing. But it's very smooth. Probably where you'd want it, honestly, because you don't want it to drop and crush your nail. So I think it's in a good spot. You can do a very good finger roll on this. I am the worst at that, and I can do it. So that's pretty cool. Really nice back spacer. It kind of swoops in. It's got a little bit of a concave in. Back spacer wraps around the back here. It's just a very cool aesthetic all around. The titanium liners, all that stuff. The lockup is really good. There's no stick, nothing. It just slides right out of the way. I love a lock bar that just slides right out of the way. Yeah, I love this guy's work. And the more that I'm exposed to it by these guys, the more that I want it. So I think I do want to try to get a Lespect at some point. I don't know if he does lefty stuff or lefty clip ones. But honestly, I might go clipless. If you could get one that's clipless, and then go with the slip, because the slip is fire. Now, the only downside to it is it's thick, right? It is not a thin knife. I would grab the calipers, but I really don't want to put the calipers of this knife. If I grab a knife I know the thickness of, what do I know the thickness of? What do I know the thickness of? I think the Jaeger here is 0.52, if I'm not mistaken. Or 0.51. You can see it's relatively thicker than that. So you're probably looking at like 0.54 on this guy, something like that. So, you know, putting that in a slip and then in your pocket, not going to be great. Now, somebody left a comment on my haul video, was like giving me shit. They're like, well, you took that nicely, blah, blah, blah knife, and then you shoved it in clip up and blah. And I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure they go in clip up. I'm pretty sure that's how Brian has always showed me the knives. If I'm wrong and it's supposed to go in like this just doesn't feel right. It barely slides in. Maybe like that, but I don't think that's right either. I'm pretty sure it goes in just like that. So I don't know, you guys tell me, but I don't think these guys are going to care if I put their knife in the slip the wrong way. Anyway, this is the one that Brian got. This was an auction piece, and cover your ears if you don't want to know the price. He paid $3,800 for this. So story goes, he wrote down $3,600, and somebody was over at the table. I forget who it was. Might have been Lewis or somebody from around here locally, and they called him and was like, dude, somebody just outbid you by $100. So he went back over and he bid $3,800 and he got it. So he went up $200 to get it, but hey, when you're at 36, you might as well go to 38, right? So this one has, I don't know what this is, maple or burl wood, something like that. I don't know wood, so, you know, whatever. You have this titanium looking inlay up here, and on this side, you can see the transitions look a little weird. I don't know if that's on, I mean, it's obviously on purpose. And the wood is a little bit prouder of that, and I think that's all aesthetic stuff. This is the only one I've ever seen with a pivot you can see. Usually on these, make sure not to mix up the slips. Usually on these, the pivot is underneath a set of scales. Let's check size and see if they're the same. I don't know how many models he has, all that good stuff. They seem to be roughly the same exact size. A little bit different on the blade shape. I kind of like this one better because the tip is going to be aiming down instead of swooping up. Clips are pretty much identical. If anything, this one feels maybe thinner. And a little bit, let's check ergos on this one. Yeah, so this one has that choil there, where this one does not. It just has the swoop handle. Both are really comfortable in hand. You got a nice little poon spoon to land on. Now, me personally, I land right here on that corner, so I don't love that. This one, it's a little bit, yeah, I like this one a little bit better ergonomically, and this is not a sharp poon. So for my hand, it fits this one, I think, a little bit better. Now, the blade finish on this one is not quite as badassery as this one. I like that hamon in there and everything. This one's kind of got more of a stonewashed finish, more of a worker finish, which is kind of funny considering this is the more expensive one, but the wood and the titanium, I get it. Plus, it was an auction piece, right? That's the difference. You know, you could get one of these for less. You don't want to get it in auction then, you know what I mean? Really, really good one. This one I really enjoy the action with. You can get your finger out there because of that finish on the blade. You can reverse flick this like an absolute beast. This knife is absolutely incredible. They both are. I just prefer to be able to reverse flick. And it's just me maybe who can't on this one. But I've handled two other ones that Brian had, and I could flick one and couldn't flick the other. And I think he was the same way. I would totally 100% buy this knife if it wasn't, you know, if it wasn't $3,800. Like if I could get this for this price, you know, $1,200, something like that, I would totally buy this knife. But hey, Brian's a baller, and so is this knife. So really cool stuff from David Lespect. Really cool stuff from Brian and AJ. I really appreciate those guys. So he has, that's kind of his thing, I guess, this concave backspacer thing, which is pretty cool. Rounded down here, really nice. This one is dead on dead nuts. Just an absolute pleasure of a knife. Now, I will say the detent is lighter on this one. So, right, comes out like that. This one, see how it's coming all the way up almost? Because the detent snaps when I get to that point. This one, I can kind of leak it out. Now, if you, you know, it fires, trust me. And you can do the reversies really good. Yeah, these knives are a little bit scary for me because of the way he ends the edge. It just really scares me that I'm gonna just take that right into the nail, into my nerve, and send shockwaves down my arm, because I've done that. Been there, done that with the Chavez, and it took, what? How long did it take, guys? Like 6 months to grow that out, and I can see it happening again already, and I think that's from the Jaegers. So trying to be careful, but hey, what are you gonna do? So those are some David Lespect knives. Really, really cool stuff. Really high end, really fancy shit, and really good. You know what I mean? It's, for me, a lot of times, and I'll show you another one probably next that you'll see on a video soon, where it has that, but it just doesn't do it for me, right? Like sometimes there's just too fancy, you know, or too whatever, different. This just nails it on the head. I understand why this guy is super popular in the custom knife world. So, shout out David Lespect. Awesome job, dude. You kill it. You don't need me to tell you that. Shout out to Brian and AJ for letting me check these out, guys. I know you want to get these back. I'm hopefully having lunch with them early next week so they can get their babies back. I have a bunch of knives from these guys. We just haven't been able to meet up after Blade, so we'll get them back to these guys and get them home. So I love you guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Are you into these? Do you have any? Do you have aspirations for them? Are they not your style? Are they your style? Etc. Let me know. I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.